Hi, welcome to our channel. My name is Esther and this is Q-Est Fashion Hub. Thank you for stopping by. If this is your first time, you're welcome. Hit on the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on your notification bell. So guys, in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a tote bag with an inner pocket and a zipper. If this is what you want to learn, then keep watching. So I'm making a mini tote bag here. So the measurement I'm working with is 10.5 by 13 inches on fold. Okay, so I folded it into two. So I already have a tutorial on how to make a normal tote bag. If that's what you want to do, I'll drop the link and then you follow that measurement. For this particular one, I'm making a mini tote bag. Okay, so for the inner pocket, I'm working with 5.25 by 7.5. okay, this is the pocket. And then for the handles, I'm working with 4 inches by 23 inches. Okay, and I have two of it right here. This is 23 inches by 4 inches. If you want to work with a normal tote bag, a normal measurement for a tote bag, I have a video already. I'll drop the link on the description box. Just follow those measurements. Okay, for this one, it's a mini tote bag because it's for a small girl. Okay, so I decided to just film this video for the sake of this tutorial. Okay, now this material I'm working with, it's a two-faced material. It has two colors, brown and red, but I'm going to be working with the red part. Now for the pocket, remember I said is 5.25 by 7.5. so what I did was to iron 0.25 on both sides first, and then for the lower part I ironed 0.5, and then for the upper part I folded 0.5 in two places. Like I folded ½ inch and another ½ inch. That's the upper part. Now for the handle, I folded ½ inch on both sides, and then I just folded it into two and I ironed this out so that it will be easy for me while I'm just sewing. Okay, that's why I ironed them out. So I did the same thing to the second handle. I have two handles, ½ inch on both sides, and then folded it into two and then just ironed it out. Okay, that's what I did basically. So for the main fabric, I folded ½ inch and another ½ inch, and then I ironed it out. Please, if you're working with a fabric that is as thick as mine, just fold once. Okay, fold once, it will be fine, because when you are fixing your zipper, trying to join it together, it will be a little bit difficult, but if you fold once, it will be fine. Okay, so now I'm just sewing my handles together like this. I already ironed them out. I just stitch on them, top stitch. But you can also do the other method. You stitch from inside and then flip it out and iron. Now for the main fabric, that is 10.5 by 13 inches on fold. So I'm notching the middle like this. So if you open it up, it's going to be 10.5 by 26 inches. Okay, so after notching the middle, so now for the pocket, I'm sewing on the upper part, which is the part that is at the top of the pocket. Okay, so I folded ½ inch and another ½ inch. Remember, I already ironed it out, so I just stitch on it, and then I did double stitch. I stitched twice to give me these double lines, just to create a design on top of my pocket. And then after I've done that, I just remember we've notched this part before for the main main body of the bag. Can you see the notches? And we're going to go ahead and place our pocket, and then we're going to open it up like so and place our pocket inside. You can decide to put your pocket outside, but for me, I prefer it inside because I think it's more secured, putting your phone inside the bag instead of outside. But it depends on your preference. Whatever you like, you can go with it. So for the placement, you're going to measure 2.5 inches, okay, from the fold, not from the edge. If you're measuring from the edge, it means you're measuring 3.5 inches. Remember, we have folded half and another half before we ironed it out. Okay, so now if you are measuring from the top, you're going to measure 3.5 inches, but if you're measuring from the fold, you're going to measure 2.5 inches before you start placing your pocket. So make sure that what you left at the right side is what you're going to leave at the left side, I mean the allowance, so that your pockets will fall at the middle. Okay, so I just went ahead and stitch it all the way around. Make sure you use a matching thread. Okay, so you can also pin it down before you start stitching, okay, if you feel it's not convenient for you. So for this tutorial, guys, I'm not using a matching zipper because at the time I was filming this video, I didn't have a red zipper. Okay, so just pardon me. So at this point we are going to fix our zipper. Remember, we already folded 1/2 inch on top and another 1/2 inch, which is 1 inch. Okay, can you see? So we are going to start fixing our zipper. So if you're working with a fabric that is as thick as mine, please fold once. Okay, it was a little bit challenging when I was trying to join it and then flip over and join again. So just flip once, it will be okay, since the fabric is not going to be fraying. Okay, so just fold once, but for me I folded twice, so it became very thick. Okay, so at this point I'm just following the line already ironed out, and then I'm just stitching down my zipper like you can see. Make sure it is very close. Can you see? Make sure it's covering very well. So once you're done stitching the first part, do the same thing to the second part. But for me, I'm not going to be opening my zipper because I can still find my way through. But if you feel it's not convenient for you, go ahead and open up your zipper and then stitch on the second part of the zipper like you can see me do on your screen. If you feel it's not also convenient, you can pin it down first, but because I'm used to it, I can find my way, and then I'm just stitching on it. Okay, just arrange it. It will be more convenient if you open up your zipper, but make sure that your zipper starts from the same point so that it matches, okay, on both sides. So at this point I was done stitching on both sides of the zipper. Okay, so this is what we have. So by the time we iron it, you see that it comes out very neatly. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and fix our handles. For the handles, on the norms you should mark 3.5 inches from your right and 3.5 inches from your left to place your handle. But because this is a mini tote bag, we are not going to be using 3.5 inches because 3.5 inches will be too much. Okay, so we are going to be using 2 inches because it's a mini tote bag. If you're following this measurement, use 2 inches, but if you're following the normal tote bag measurement that I already have on the channel, you can use 3.5 inches or 3 inches, but sometimes I do 3.5 inches or 3 inches. It's in between that. Okay, so like I'm explaining that if it's a normal tote bag, a big tote bag, you can use 3.5 inches or 3 inches, but for this I'm using 2 inches from your right and 2 inches from your left, and then you're going to go down by 1 inch. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, mark 1 inch downward, mark 2 inches from your right, 2 inches from your left, and then mark 1 inch downward. We're going to flip it over and do the same thing to the other part. Okay, 2 inches like you can see me do, and mark 2 inches on the other side. That's where you're going to start your placement from, and then you're going to go down by 1 inch. Okay, these lines will just guide you when you're placing your handles. Okay, it will make your placement easy for you. Okay, so at this point I was done marking. I'm just going to start placing my handle from that 2 inches, not before the 2 inches. After the 2 inches, just place your handle like you can see me do on the screen, and then down 1 inch line, that's where your handle is going to start from. Okay, and just go ahead and pin it down like this. Now grab the second handle and place it before. Okay, just follow what I'm doing. 2 inches, and then that 1 inch is going to be where your handle will start from. Okay, just place it properly, and then these 2 joining are facing each other. If you place it well, rightly, the 2 joining should be facing each other. They are inside. Okay, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to explain. Okay, so at this point I'm stitching it down like I'm double stitching. Like you go back, come front, go backward, come forward. Just stitch it very well, because it's a tote bag. It's possible they put a lot of things inside, so it doesn't end up snapping and falling off later. It will be so embarrassing. Okay, so after that, just flip it upward like you can see me do. Flip it upward and also stitch on it again. Secure it like 3 to 4 times. Stitch it very well, and then you're just going to stitch all the way around. With this, you're assured that your handles are properly secured in place. They are secured with this stitching all the way around, so it will not end up snapping later. So no matter what they put inside. Okay, so now you're just going to go ahead and stitch all the way around like you can see me do on your screen. Please guys, subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up. Please like this video, subscribe. It is free of charge. You're not paying for it. Thank you. So I'm going to be repeating the same thing to the second handle, like going around, stitching it, flipping it up like this. So this is what we got when I was done. So I also went ahead and did the same thing to the second part, which is the other part of the bag, and then by the time I was done, this is what we got. Everything we're just aligning. The handles were in place, and then you're going to fold your tote bag into 2 and stitch on the right side. You're going to stitch on the right side of your tote bag. Can you see what I'm doing? The wrong side will be facing the wrong side, and then the right side will be facing you. So you're stitching on the right side at this point. Okay, so after stitching on the right side, you're going to cut off the excess zipper. Okay, now on a norms you should stitch at the back and then flip to the right side, but this method you don't need to whip the tote bag. If you have been following my channel, you should understand what we are doing here. It's not a magic. Okay, so after stitching on the right side, you're going to flip it over to the wrong side. Okay, this is the wrong side. Can you see how neat the wrong side is? So now you're going to stitch on the wrong side. Now for the right side, I used less than 0.25 for the seam allowance when I was stitching on it, so you can do less. Don't use half an inch, it will be too much. If you use half an inch, you will need to trim it. Okay, so I use less than 0.25. okay, so that by the time you flip it up, flip it inside out, it will not be bulky. So once I was done stitching on the wrong side, I just flip it over. So this is what we got. At this point, I'm just trying to iron it and iron it and iron it. It is very easy and simple. So guys, if this tutorial has been helpful to you, please subscribe to this channel. It is free of charge. Hit on that subscribe button, it doesn't bite. And like this video so that YouTube can recommend it to other people like you who also need this. My name is Esther and this is Q-Est Fashion Hub. Don't stop learning, keep learning. See you in the next time.